where my foot is there, that's only halfway out. And so this shelter right here, as it's configured, could easily sleep two. You know, one with the head to the front, one with head to the back. And as you can see along the wall here, I could have pitched these poles here farther out. I could have made this like about 1.5 feet wider at the base than it is. All right, now I've positioned the camera right at the entrance, and I'm back here at the back with my head. So you can see there's a pretty good bit of space here. I've got a good bit of space to the side of me. So this little setup right here is pretty darn nice. Fairly roomy. All right, so here I am. I'm sitting just about 2 feet inside the front here. Here's another thing that's really nice about this shelter. This shelter is very structurally sound because of the crisscrossing, the arches, and how everything is all twisted together. This thing can take a pretty good amount of weather, pretty good wind, pretty good rain, all that sort of thing, because all this framework is not going to let the tarp cover come in past it. And you can see in here the crisscrossing of the support poles and all that. Look up on top and see all the archwork and everything like that. What I like to do first of all is lay out my tarp and just get it stretched out, and then once I've done that, then I like to, for this type of setup, then I like to fold it over. Once I've got it the length out there, I fold it over like this, and that basically gives my footprint size, and then I just build the framework around the outside of that. I like to sharpen the ends of my upright poles, and that way they'll shove into the ground easier. Once the poles are sharpened, just go along each side of the tarp as it's laid on the ground and shove them in about 2 feet apart. So you'll wind up with two rows of upright poles. The poles are then flexed towards each other, and then the ends are grabbed as I show here. Just a second. I reach under and grab the end of that one and pull it around, and I just twist them around several times, or how many times they'll go around, and the friction of each other helps hold them together. Crossmember support. The first thing I do is put a willow across the top that's long enough to go across the top of all the hoops, all the arches, and then the end here I'm just taking it and twisting the end parts, the end whips of the willow. I'm just twisting them around that front hoop, and that holds those in place. And I just use other willows on the ends and everything, and in the middle to tie them off just by twisting. All you're doing this whole setup, no cordage, you're just twisting willows around to hold everything in place. Now for stability, I like to do some diagonals, usually forming a couple of X patterns on each side of the shelter of the framework here, and the ends again are just twisted around just like before. The butt end of them I do sharpen usually and jam it into the ground, so it is jammed into the ground on one end, it comes up on a diagonal, and then it twists around just like we've done before. This video is a little jiggly here, but basically I'm showing at this point you can add more willows lengthwise or other diagonals or anything like that, and all you have to do is just weave them in and out. So you go over one, under one, that sort of thing when you get to the end. A lot of times I like to just jam the tip of it through the very end to just see me kind of working that into there. And the more of these you put in, the stronger your shelter. But basically, just a basic framework is all you need to throw the tarp over. But if you want to make it more sturdy, you can add more and more of these willows to it, and you can make this thing really very, very strong. So that's just some close-ups here. All you're doing is taking small willows or tips of willows, twisting them around the big willows that make the frame. And once you've done enough of that, you've got a framework. You lay your tarp along the side, and it's ready. Just pull the tarp up over, stake it down. You're good to go.